Hi.
Hi.
Okay, guys, so this week, as usual, we are discussing a hypothetical outfit, attending a hypothetical event presented to us by a not hypothetical stylist. On this week's episode, we have Rob Zangardi and Mariel Haenn. Rob and Mariel have an incredible roster of clients. They work with Gwen Stefani, Sierra, Jessica Biel, Jennifer Lopez. What an iconic client to be known for. I've always felt like Rob and Mariel have such a strong aesthetic. It's not understated. It's sexy. It's bright. It's in your face. But the way they do it, it's sophisticated always. Their tailoring is flawless. Every gown, I'm just like, wow, that waist hits in the perfect spot. That's the perfect amount of loose or tight.
I also feel like Rob and Mariel's looks are so fun and glamorous, but they really celebrate whoever they're styling. I feel like they're not afraid of taking risks or making impactful statements on a carpet, but it also feels really refined and educated at the same time.
So here's what Rob and Mariel had to say about their look. We envision this look for an event such as the Grammy red carpet or an awards season red carpet. We always love a monochromatic look from head to toe. We were drawn to the simple elegance with a touch of modern and sexy bow details on the back.
We chose a shoe with a metal blade heel since the slit in the back allowed for the shoe to be seen, so we wanted to make sure we took advantage of showcasing another fine detail. We chose jewelry that was modern, subtle yet special, so we don't compete with the details of the dress. We love to make a statement every chance we get. I really dissected this dress down, so it's this matte, icy, cold white dress. And then it's very straight with the column shape to it, and the front with this halter neck, and then the back there's all those little bow details down the spine, and then leading into this giant graphic bow. I feel like there's weight to the fabric, so it feels really statuesque and strong.
Okay, I just texted you my first concept.
I love these.
Everything I just sent you is Jean Shrimpton. When I first looked at this gown, I was like, other than the fact that you can see the bow from behind, the front of the dress is actually extremely simple and structured, and it's almost a boat neck. I envisioned this kind of 60s shape, some height at the crown, and a bit of a flip and a bend to the ends, and that kind of side part that gives you some forehead coverage tucked behind the ear. I used these Jean Shrimpton references once for Natalie Portman. There's something incredibly flattering about it to the face. It really sculpts the neck and gives this softness and bounciness around your jawline and everything. If the length of the hair was just right, if it just hit in the shoulder and just softened the shoulder line a little and flipped up in this area, and you kept the texture a little slept in, not too perfect, you don't want it to look helmety, that kind of 60s Jean Shrimpton shape could give a statement that was strong enough to balance the dress, but I think still feels soft and sexy. And I love how a flip like that looks from behind, or someone's profile when it kind of bounces up at the neck here. It really gives the body a beautiful shape.
Yeah, and I feel like even to counteract the structure of it, having this bouncy kind of flip would feel really modern too.
Totally.
What's your next one?
Okay, so I've sent you basically 3 different shapes of a very clean, sculpted head. First being Gwyneth Paltrow winning her Oscar. Super high shine, deep side parting, incredibly simple. This is absolutely an approach you could take with this dress, and I could see myself doing it on certain people. I also loved these 2 other shapes. They're both Valentino runway moments. The first one is Naomi Campbell. It's a slick center parting, but it has a little bit of height in the crown and some fullness, and then that low, tight chignon. I think that just having that subtle volume at the crown could balance the dress really well. But I think my favorite out of the 3 is this image, which is also a Valentino runway show.
I die for this one.
I found it and it made me really excited because I initially thought I'd like to get the hair high up on the head like that, but I didn't want to do a top knot. That felt really cheesy to me. But then seeing that with the bang shape that gave it kind of a fashion forward interest, but still that sculptural high bun, it was just such a nice shape for the dress. Okay, Nina, what are you thinking?
So I also kind of came up with 2 directions as well, and I really put into the scenarios, right? So it's the Grammys or this award show carpet. So I think there are ways to make one work for the other, but I'm going to send them to you and see what you think. So I was really inspired by this like soft, glowing, rich feeling of vintage films, like the Vaseline around the lens to make everything super soft focused, like candlelit looking. So, I mean, Rob and Mariel told us they love a monochromatic moment from like head to toe. So I wanted to steer away from using any bright, bold colors. I felt like silver is still light enough where it feels very monochromatic and light, but because of the way it flickers and glistens, it really adds some sort of statement to the face. This is the makeup I did on Laura Harrier with this opaque silver color on the eyes. And then to finish it off, I'd opt for like a pale, dusty rose color on the cheeks and lips to bring it all together. I feel like silver eyeshadow can be tricky because it can translate dull and chalky, or the opposite, where it's like too intense and overpowering.
I think if you do something silver and it doesn't, the creaminess that you're offering is what's really important. I think when it gets dull or matte in a way, it can be really aging. I love the sheen of the eye and the texture that it has, but then there's the sharpness of like the tight line. It really speaks to the dress.
Yeah. For my second direction, I really want to channel this confident woman really owning her sexiness. Like she's got it going on and she knows it. It's not overtly sexy. It's like an understated sexy. So I really saw these like bedroomy cat eyes. It's like kind of faded and smudged, like it was perfectly on and then you slept in it and then it's like the next day. So it's not black and graphic. It's more sooty and sleepy to counteract the sharp lines of the dress. So this Brigitte Bardot one, I don't know if you see, it's got this like thick cat eye, and especially paired with the bow, it feels really raw and sultry. And then to finish it off, use a creamy pale peach color on the lips and cheeks.
I am looking at the tones on this face chart and I like love it. I think it's so pretty, that kind of like minky color that's above there. It's so nice.
From what you've seen, what I've sent you and what you've sent me, like what would be the strongest Grammys look? I feel like the best balance for Grammys would be that Valentino reference. Because in the front, it's got that bang there that feels nostalgic of like this 50s, 60s, like kind of like soft, like side swept bang with this like really pretty chignon on top that allows for all the back detail to show. And like this cat eye, I feel like that would be such a strong, strong look for the Grammys.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's probably where I would want to land too. They also mentioned an awards season carpet, which means like a film oriented awards show like Globes or Oscars. I don't know. I feel like most people would be encouraging me to do the Gwyneth super simple, sleek side part. But I think I would fight pretty hard to try and do that Jean Shrimpton hair. I think that doing something sleek and tight with this dress would show your body off really well. But I think this dress shows body so much that there's something kind of nice about going like, yeah, like I look really sexy in this dress, but I don't need to like show you every inch of my back to prove that. Like I can do this kind of soft, kind of like fashion forward hair moment. It would take the sexiness of the dress down just a notch and make it a little bit more appropriate for something as conservative as the Oscars. That bow at the hip area, depending on your body proportion, it's so full that if you did a small head, you could risk looking rather unbalanced. It could make your head look really tiny and make you look kind of bottom heavy. So having some volume up here could give you proportion really nicely.
Yeah, that's a good point. For the makeup, I guess we'd have to do the silver then on the eyes, right? Where it's still very soft and there's something interesting about it, but it's not going to overpower and overtake the face and make it so costume heavy, I guess, on the head.
Totally. I think that it's a perfect balance of giving like a nod to that 60s, but it's really crisp and simple. And maybe leaning into like a slightly more color in the lip, just a touch to make that louder than the eye. When there's so much hair down, I think would feel more balanced, no?
Yeah, I agree. I wanted like a cooler, dustier rose color with the white dress because it's more of a cooler tone white. I think it would really work together well, but still come out and be a statement against that white.
Yeah. Another thing that's super important to talk about with a white dress like this, it is so easy for an all white gown to go bridal.
I'm going to be honest with you. Anytime I'm presented with a white dress, I get kind of scared actually, because For makeup, it's so limiting of what I could do, really, you know, and what are ways that we could put down to not make it go this bridal direction and too sweet and romantic.
It's a balance of like, you don't want to do too much with a white dress, like loud makeup and bold hair with a white dress is a big statement. But also if you don't do enough is when it can look bridal. This dress in particular, I wouldn't be that worried about it because it's structured and sharp and sexy. Like it doesn't have a bridal feel in the shape of it. It's just that it's white.
But it's interesting though, because if they didn't turn around and you saw just the front, it kind of does have like this very classic shape that feels kind of bridal.
No, you're right. If someone was shot head on, and they couldn't see the back, yeah, it could feel bridal. There's so much to consider always, like about the different angles of a dress, like because at the end of the day, like we put so much effort into this, everybody involved does, and then there's thousands of pictures taken. But really, like, there's always like 2 or 3 great shots, and those are the ones that run. Those are the ones that people post everywhere. That's the ones that the magazines run. And if that angle is not the angle that you had envisioned being seen, you're screwed. you gotta really consider it from every angle. All right, that was a really fun conversation. I really appreciate Rob and Mariel's choice there. That was thought-provoking for sure.
It's opposite from our last episode too, where it was like this minimal, quiet statement, and this was like, bam!
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, this is definitely like a more is more moment. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Let us know if you have any questions or comments or want to continue the conversation. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.